Hey, folks. Welcome to the Wrench Turners podcast. Today is going to be a little bit different because today is a bit of a break announcement along with a whole bunch of other stuff. So we've got a little bit of tidbits here and there about what's going on, what's coming up, a little bit of review to the past, and a little bit of foresight into the future. So stay with us to hear all the little bits and pieces. I preach that you need to take care of yourself first before you can take care of anybody else. I'm doing that. I worked myself to the bone there back in April trying to prepare so that all the content would go out as normal while I went on vacation. Basically meant 2 weeks with little to no sleep, very little at all communication with my family, ran myself to the bone, and altogether slept quite a bit through my vacation to Mexico. Now, I enjoyed myself, and so did my wife. We had a great time. But the amount of stress, energy, and effort that I went through to try and prepare for that was just too much. So this time, I'm actually just going to take a break. I'm on vacation. So we're going to take a break. Now, things are a little bit different the following week because more things are coming. Change in life, as it were. Rice Turners has been a free service and continues to be a free service for technicians as much as humanly possible. I've been doing coaching one-to-ones with technicians for almost a year and a half now, and I continue to do those one-to-ones for free as much as humanly possible. That doesn't generate any revenue. So I still need to work. So I got myself a new job. What is that new job? Well, y'all are going to have to wait for the announcement. Now, you know it's coming. You're going to watch out for it. Where's it going to be announced? On LinkedIn. If you're not following me, you're not going to find out what it is. Check out LinkedIn, check out the profile, subscribe to the profile. You can hit the little notification bell, just like you can here on Spotify or on YouTube if you happen to be watching as well. Hit the little notification bell so you don't miss out. That's what I'm announcing. Big number one. Number two, the only thing that I'm going to do during the next 2 weeks that I'm going to focus all of my energy on is July 23rd, 11 a.m., live stream to YouTube, is a solutionary discussion with the 10 Mil Lads and I, with a special guest of Zach Perkle. If y'all remember, earlier on in the year, sometime I think in May, it feels like so long ago, but it really isn't that long ago. We did a podcast one-to-one with Zach, and we did a reverse interview with Zach. He's a super amazing individual, super high value leader, leading a team of almost 40 technicians, and they are crushing records month over month. And he's going to participate in the discussion. So there's going to be 6 of us on this panel. There's going to be a couple of people in the audience, invite only, and it's going to be live streamed to YouTube for all of you to watch. Remember, that's July 23rd, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, you subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you get notified when we go live. Okay, so that's the 10 Mil Lads and I with special guest Zach Perkle. Announcement number 2. Number 3, I have finished recording all of season 2. All of season 2 is finished recording, which means there's an end to season 2. Also means there's a beginning to season 3 coming down the pipe. Now, we are still away. We are still a ways away. Season 2 is going to end on September 13th. The final guest will be announced a couple weeks prior to that. I have an amazing guest coming for the season finale. It is going to be a divergence from every other guest. It's going to be a guest that you're going to want to listen to, not because they're around leadership space. It's not because they have immaculate wrench turning skills. It's going to be something that service leaders, fixed operations leaders, sales leaders, mechanics, parts people, it's a human being that has the kind of information that we all need to learn from. If you want to know who it is, you're going to have to find out and follow the profile on LinkedIn so you get notified when we drop the information about this super amazing human being. On for another announcement. Season 3 is going to be a little bit different. We're going to change a whole bunch of stuff up to make sure that you guys get the best value, the best content to improve your lives, your health, your happiness, and your productivity on the shop floor. So make sure you subscribe to the channel on YouTube or on Spotify, whatever your streaming service of choice is, so that you don't miss out coming up on season 3 in the fall. Which also means if you're interested in being on the show, whether it be part of 10 Mil Masteries, whether it be perhaps an individual that I interview for coaching. So it goes instead of a rehashing some of my coaching classes, you can actually get live coaching, which will get recorded and then streamed out. You can be part of that, and it's free. You can also e-message me or email me to be on the show if you happen to be a vendor in the automotive space specific to service, or you happen to be a mechanic and I'm looking for some apprentices. I've got our first apprentice that's going to be aired later on in season 2 that you're going to want to listen to. Someone who's only got about a year in the trade. They're absolutely crushing it and has absolutely the right mindset, but you're going to have to wait until near the end of season 2 to listen. But I need some more apprentices. We've got a whole bunch of very experienced mechanics that have been on the show. If you go back, we've got Andrew Kindred, a younger mechanic, but still an experienced mechanic. We've got a much more experienced Chris, Mechanic Life on TikTok. He's an experienced mechanic. You've got Craig Tomzik. You've got Richard Mueller. You've got Marshall Sheldon. You've got Russell Wickham. You got Lauren Maja. You've got all these folks. Anna just aired. All of these great mechanics that you can listen to their experiences, their stories, and their life about how their lives affect personally into professional, professional into personal. These are people that you need to go back and listen to if you haven't listened to or watched, if they happen to be now on YouTube. If you're interested in being on the show, reach out to me, leader@justworkhard.com. Now, there's some other bits and pieces here to make sure that you guys aren't just listening to event announcements after event announcements. That's done for now. Okay? Okay. One, take a breath. This has been a ride. This has been an absolute ride, folks, and I can't thank you all enough. Achieving so many things. We've got subscribers on Spotify. We've got subscribers on YouTube. We've been able to guest on a whole bunch of shows on the Parts Go podcast, on SNL. There's some other stuff in the works that will get announced that'll probably come out later on in the year. The ability to go to NADA earlier on in the year. Thank you, Fixoff's Marketing, for that. The content and everything that came out of that was awesome. And what have we been learning along the way? We're learning that as mechanics, it doesn't matter how we started. It doesn't matter where we work. Some of the biggest things that are the most important to mechanics everywhere is finding a high value leader. You listen week after week to all of these leaders and or mechanics, it comes down to leadership. If you don't have a great leader in front of you, it's very hard to be very successful as a mechanic. That's consistent. So if you haven't been listening for that long, make sure you go back to the very first episode and you start listening to Craig's episode. Craig's the first episode on the Red Shirts podcast that isn't an event, because Tito's and T-shirts is actually technically the first show. You listen to him speak leadership. You listen to, as we go forward, you listen to every mechanic and every leader on there. The better the leader, the more successful you can become as a mechanic, or just more successful you can become in automotive. That's one. Two, consistency and training. Consistently showing up every day, consistently putting in the work, right? There's a reason why I have persistence tattooed on my bloody arm, ladies and gentlemen. Consistency and persistence. Consistency and persistence. And that includes transferring that over to training. The more training you have, the more success you are, statistically. There are some folks that are fairly well trained and are still not producing, but that might be a matter of leadership. Training. If you want to make a whole lot of money in this industry and be very successful in this industry, training, 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 training. All right? Going further and going back a little bit all at the same time. The last several episodes have been significantly improved, and I'm trying to do better and better. Going forward, there's going to be even more advancements. I'm trying to improve what's all behind here so the aesthetic is a little bit better for you guys to consume. Same thing with here. I'm trying to do everything I possibly can with the audio. Hopefully you guys are receiving it well. If you have any comments, concerns, questions, or advice that you'd love to give me to improve how the show is being recorded, how it's being edited, how it's being filtered, and so forth, please reach out to me. I am taking every bit of advice as I can to make sure that this content is the most valuable I possibly can for you folks. Leader at justworkhard.com. And going forward, we've got some great guests coming up on the show. We've got service manager who's been around the industry a long time, who's got some great insight. We've got a high-level SaaS leader in the a heavy equipment space, has some great insight as to what it's like from a super high level dealing with mechanics in a completely new way, something that many folks still don't know about. It's a burgeoning area that's going to be incredibly insightful that you all need to listen to. We've got a general manager of a large HD store that you need to listen to. He's got some great insight, came up in the trenches, got to where he is now. It's just you're gonna love it. We've got two of my favorite people who do active training in the service advisor and F&I space that you want to listen to. It's a special. They're a very special. We're doing a 3-person Wrench Turners podcast that particular Wednesday we're airing. And we've got a motorcycle mechanic on top of everything else coming up. We have a great chat. Great chat from across the pond. Some really valuable insights that relate, whether it's automotive, motorcycle, or HD, some really great insights into how even across the pond, even in a different kind of category, motorcycle versus automotive, how some of the basics on how we learn come into play. So I appreciate all of you again. I appreciate you all tuning in, watching, subscribing, sharing the show. Please continue to do that so we can get in front of the eyeballs and ear holes of as many technicians as we possibly can. The next time you hear a recording drop will be August the 2nd. This is not goodbye. This is a pause to recharge. If you have any questions, again, leader at justworkhard.com. And folks, remember, negative pushes, positive pulls, and always clean your toys before you put them away. I preach on a regular basis that you need to take care of your first, before, bleh. That's going to be a chop cut.